Hello and welcome to Championship Game Week 9 predictions. If you do like the Championship content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. And yeah, let's just dive straight into my Championship predictions. We've got Wrexham, Birmingham, we've got Ipswich, Norwich, and derbies along the way. So yeah, let's just dive straight into my Game Week 9 Championship predictions. And the first game is tomorrow night where Wrexham take on Birmingham. Two sides kind of out of form, not doing the best. Two promoted sides from League One with big ambitions to get to the Premier League, these two sides. Birmingham sits in 11th, Wrexham down in 15th in the table at the moment. Birmingham on a bit of a horrible run at the moment, 1 win in 6. Not great for Chris Davies' side at the moment. They'll be looking to win this. Late draw against Sheffield Wednesday, very unlucky not to lose that game in the week. Cashin at fault for most of the goals, not good whatsoever. Wrexham back-to-back draw against Derby of the weekend, and a very decent point away at Leicester City as well. Wrexham are at home at the racecourse. Head-to-head last time they played was a 1-1 draw back on the 23rd of January, but then was a 3-1 win for Birmingham back then. Yeah, this one's a tough one to call because both sides, we don't really know what they're made of just yet so far this season. Not a bit too early to tell. I am going to back a draw on that. Sorry. So yeah, backing a draw on this one. 1-1 between these two, between Wrexham and Birmingham, what it was last season. And yeah, Wrexham drew 1-1 against Birmingham in this one. Into the half-12 kickoffs, and it is Blackburn taking on Stoke at Ewood Park. Blackburn losing at home to Swansea in the week. Never great doing that, is it? Yeah, head-to-head record last time they did play was a 2-0 away win for Stoke back on the 6th of November 2024. 1-0 win for Stoke at home at the Bet365 back earlier in March. Stoke have won this head-to-head 11 times in the past, over a certain 20 occasions, so they've just got over 50% record in that one. Stoke sits third in the table. Blackburn are 22nd in the table at the moment in the relegation zone, and you might start to feel for Blackburn if this does continue, of course. Back-to-back losses for Valerian Ishmael sides, back-to-back draws for Mark Robbins and Stoke. Stoke started to drop up, still third in the Championship. Gonna back a Stoke City win in this one. Go for a nice 2-1 away win for the Potters in this one. And yeah, them to beat Blackburn and the Red Roses, or whatever their nickname is. I'm not sure what their nickname is, but Blackburn to win this by 2-1 over... Stoke to win this by 2-1 over Blackburn in this one. Hull Sheffield United in the other... 3 of the half-12 kickoffs that we have at lunchtime on Saturday. Sheffield United, very disappointing defeat in the week after getting that win over Oxford, and then they lost to Southampton, of course, very disappointing for them. Last time these sides did play was a 3-0 away win for Hull at Bramall Lane, but then 2-0 for Sheffield United back in September 2024. Sheffield United currently sit bottom, 3 points off safety, minus 12 goal difference, not great for Chris Wilder's side so far. 18th are Hull, not doing bad under Sergej Jurkovic. So far, people would think they will be down in the dumps. 2-2 draw against Preston last time out. Ollie McBurney fighting them back in that one to grab a draw over Paul Heckingbottom's Preston. Sheffield United doing okay. I mean, Chris Wilder is still yet to see what he can do while he is back at Sheffield United. I'm going to back a draw in this one. I think that's probably a safe bet. I'm going to back another 1-1 draw in this one. Chris Wilder, yeah, we'll be looking to win this, but I just think Hull and, I think Ollie McBurney could score against his old club in this one. So yeah, back in a 1-1 draw between these two sides. Final half-12 kickoff of the day, and it is Sheffield Wednesday taking on Coventry City. Sheffield Wednesday actually unbeaten in their last 3 matches now. Great for them when their financial issues... Considering their financial issues. Coventry, big back-to-back wins over Birmingham and Millwall, scoring 7 goals in those games, has 0 goals conceded. Absolutely perfect for Frank Lampard's side. They're 2 points behind Middlesbrough and 2 points off the top of the table. 2-1 for them back in February. They did play in the FA Cup. Of course, Coventry did win that on penalties, and Sheffield Wednesday won back on the 5th of October. Can Frank Lampard's side continue that great run? I think they are for 3 on the bounce, and they could absolutely make this a thrashing away at Sheffield Wednesday, despite Sheffield Wednesday's form being okay. 2-2 draw away for Sheffield Wednesday last time out. Of course, Coventry battering Millwall. Sheffield Wednesday have done okay recently, but I can see Coventry rolling them over in this one. I'm going to go for a nice 3-0 away. Coventry winning this one. They're loving goals at the moment under Frank Lampard. I'm going to back that to continue here by 3-0 over Sheffield Wednesday in this one. So yeah, Coventry to win by 3-0 over Sheffield Wednesday. Bristol City versus Queen's Park Rangers, or Queen's Park Raisins, as Louis Van Gaal would call them for all those years ago. Bristol City grabbing a draw at home to Ipswich 1-1 in the week. Not amazing at the moment, but I think they'll be looking to win this at home against QPR, but QPR, saying that, have started very well. Last time these sides played last season was both a 1-1 draw on receiving ends at Ashton Gate and at Loftus Road. 5th place for Bristol City, QPR in 10th at the moment. 1 point separates the sides. It's crazy how tight this league is at the moment. Definitely in the mid-pack. Anyway, QPR unbeaten in their last 5, 0-0 draw against Oxford last night. I saw it kicked off with Gary Rowett, didn't it, last night, which was quite funny to watch. Bristol City win this, though, at home. I think they'll get back to winning ways, despite not winning in their last 3 matches. I think they'll get back to winning ways in this one by 2-1 over QPR. I'm going to back Bristol City in this one, and yeah, get a win over the line at Ashton Gate. So Bristol City to win this by 2-1 over QPR. Derby Southampton is definitely an interesting matchup, or one of the most interesting matchups this weekend, apart from the Wrexham, Birmingham and Ipswich Norwich. Derby, 2 draws recently against Wrexham and Charlton respectively. Sheffield United losing to Southampton. Very good win for Will Still's side in that one. Unbeaten 2 matches now. Southampton, if they can win this, they could definitely go on a roll straight after the international break. Last time these sides played was back all the way in 2019, where Derby drew 2-2 but then won on penalties at St Mary's on the replay last night. They did play in the Championship, was 2011-2012 4-0 home win for the Saints in that one, and the Rams getting a point at Pride Park back then. Southampton get back to winning ways in this one. I am going to back the Saints. I think they've got a few of their injured players back. Ross Stewart's no longer injured. He seems to be banging the mid as he did against Sheffield United. I'm going back Southampton to win this by 2-1 away from home. I think it'll be tight, as all John Eustace games are. But I'm just going to bet Southampton to get over the line by 2-1 in this game. Millwall West Brom now then. West Brom getting a very good away win away at Carrow Road last night. Unbeaten in the last 2 matches with that 1-1 draw away at home. At home to Leicester last Friday as well. Millwall, bit of a disappointing defeat last night, 4-0 at home to Coventry, but the Coventry are the most informed team in the division, aren't they, at the moment, I believe. 1-1 draw last time these sides played back on the 15th of February. 0-0 draw between them back in October. This one surely has a draw written all over it. They love a draw, these 2 sides. And in fact, Millwall have only won this game 3 times at the Den, 2 times a draw and a 1 loss. 1 win for West Brom. 4th for West Brom at the moment. Millwall in 12th. They'll be looking to bounce back in this one. But West Brom is another very tricky test under Ryan Mason at the moment, despite their injuries. I am going to back a draw just because Millwall need to bounce back from the weekend and the fans will expect a response. Otherwise, it could turn a bit ugly there for Alex Neil. I'm going to back a 1-1 draw in this one between Millwall and West Bromwich Albion. I just think, yeah, Millwall need a response from the weekend of West Brom. Just don't score many goals. They did score a few at Wrexham, but earlier on in the season. But yeah, I think this will be a 1-1 draw in my eyes in this one. We go to Fratton Park, where Portsmouth rescued a point at home to Watford last night to climb themselves up onto 9 points, still 17th in the table. Middlesbrough starting very well, have dropped a couple of points recently to 1-1 at home away at Southampton, 0-0 at home to Stoke in the week. Still unbeaten in 5 matches, just a couple of draws in there that's hurting Middlesbrough. Last time they did play was on the 18th of January. It was a 2-1 home win for Pompey. Was a 2-2 away draw back in August 2024 for Middlesbrough. Portsmouth, home form is again going to be key for them to stay in the division. Can they knock over table toppers at the moment? Middlesbrough, I think, would be quite difficult. to be fair to them. But you never know. Portsmouth got a lot of injuries at the moment. No Callum Lang, no Shaughnessy, and no Murphy in there as well, which could be a big problem for them. I'm actually going to back Middlesbrough, the away side, to get over the line in this one. I think Portsmouth injuries might be a bit too much for them. I know Middlesbrough got a few like McGree, Lenihan, and Britton in there as well. Back in Middlesbrough to win this, and Rob Edwards' side to win by 2-1 away at Fratton Park. It'd be a good victory for them in this one. So yeah, back in Middlesbrough to win this 2-1 away at Portsmouth. Preston versus Charlton. Then this game always. If I would think of the Championship, I would think of this fixture. I don't know why, even though Charlton were in League One last season. Last time they did play, though, was back in the lockdown season. Both had fans in, though, because they played in November and January. It was 1-0 win for Preston at the Valley, and then back at Deepdale was 2-1 home win for Preston over Charlton in that one. 7th against 9th, not the greatest teams, or well, no, not the greatest. No, these two teams are actually overachieving, is what I wanted to say. Preston doing well, Charlton doing well under Nathan Jones, two decent coaches as well, in Paul Heckingbottom and Nathan Jones at their respective clubs. Yeah, a few injuries out for Preston. They're just outside the playoff places at the moment. I'm actually going to back Preston in this one. Usually, it will be a scrappy game in my eyes because Heckingbottom v Nathan Jones, two sides that like to keep it tight and scrappy. So yeah, I'm going to just back Preston in this one by 1-0 over Charlton in this one. And yeah, a good win for Paul Heckingbottom's side that probably will get them into the playoff places. So yeah, Preston to win this one away over Charlton. Now to the Swansea.com Stadium as Swansea take on Leicester at the in Swansea. Swansea getting a very good win away at Blackburn midweek. Leicester have drawn 4 games on the trot, which is never great. Oxford, Coventry, West Brom and Wrexham as well. So Cifuentes is still getting time to embed his ideas down at Leicester, but they will need a few results if they are to start picking up. They have signed nobody, remember, in the transfer window. I don't think there's maybe signed someone, but wasn't to be any effect to the team, I don't think. Last time they decided to play was in 2023-24 season. It was a 3-1 Leicester win on both occasions. Yeah, only Suter really out for Leicester at the moment. They currently 6th. Swansea with a win would leap Leicester in this one. This one's a really tough one to call. I'm going to back a draw in this one. I'm going to back another... No, I'm going to back a 2-2. Screw it. I think there could be goals in this one. So, yeah, I'm backing a 2-2 between Swansea City and Leicester City in this one. And, yeah, 2-2 draw. Desmond in this one between these two. And now the classic that is Watford versus Oxford. Watford unbeaten in their last 2, beating Hull, drawing at Portsmouth in the week. Last time these sides played was a 1-0 win at home for Watford on the 8th of November, and then Oxford did beat Watford on March the 15th. We saw Gary Rowett get into a few issues last night away at QPR, didn't we? Yeah, I think Watford will be looking to win this as much as Oxford, to be fair, because Oxford need to stay in the division. They do sit just outside the drop zone with that point at QPR last night. I am going to back Watford, unfortunately, for Oxford United fans in this one. I am going to back Watford to win this. I'm going to go for a nice 2-0 home victory for Watford over Oxford in this one. And yeah, Paolo Peslana to get another win and keep that unbeaten streak going to 3 in the league in this one. So yeah, back in Watford to win over Oxford by 2-0. And now to the East Anglian derby on Sunday, where Ipswich take on Norwich, of course. Ipswich and Norwich played each other last season, was a 2-2 draw. For it was a 2-2 draw at Portman Road, and then a 1-0 home win for Norwich. Wasn't last season, it was the season before last, because Ipswich were promoted, weren't they? Ipswich have never won this game, where it's been like 18 years since Ipswich have beaten Norwich in the league. 8 wins, 6 draws. We've got the data since 2010 here on FootMob. Ipswich really haven't beaten Norwich in a while, have they? But Norwich haven't won since a 2-0 away at Blackburn in September, I believe, or the start of September. As at the end of August last time Norwich won. Ipswich starting to click into gear now under Kieran McKenna. They'll be looking to win this But the record speaks for itself, doesn't it? Absolutely abysmal for these for Ipswich Town. Liam Manning's form hasn't been great. Do I back Ipswich to win finally? I'm actually not. I'm actually going to back a 2-2 draw in this one to go what it was back at Portwood Road previously. So yeah, I'll go back a 2-2 draw in this one between Ipswich and Norwich. Another Desmond in my predictions, and yeah, 2-2 draw between Ipswich and Norwich in this one. Thank you very much for watching my Championship Game Week 9 predictions. If you did like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, and I'll speak to you on the next one, which will be Premier League predictions tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get it out before Bournemouth Fulham tomorrow night, as I'm out again tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I won't be cheating on the predictions for the Prem. So yeah, speak to you all on the next one.